Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to our channel. I'm Rachel.
I'm Nikki and we're the Stitch Sisters.
And we're so excited to bring you our first video of 2022.
Yay!
I can't believe that we're kind of 2/3 of the way through January already, but I don't know where last year went either. So
no, I still think it's 2019, so I'm in some kind of vortex. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening.
It's like the world was normal, COVID happened, and then we all fast forwarded, and now kind of time doesn't make sense anymore.
It doesn't, no, it doesn't. Although it does feel like the world's getting back to normal again.
It does,
which is nice.
Yes.
Back to my busy running around after kids and all the rest of it, and I'm sure you are as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it's taken us so long to make a video, just because getting back to normal life after the Christmas break and stuff has taken us a little bit of time, hasn't it?
It's relentless at the minute.
Yes.
But anyway, we hope you're having a good January, but we've got something exciting for you today to kind of put a bit of bright spark into January blues if you've got them.
Yes, so we spend a lot of time in January always starting to excitedly talk about all the things that we want to do for that year, and we think about our wardrobes, and often there's some kind of giant cull involved, and there's, you know, we don't plan within an inch of its life, and we don't come up with a make 9 or anything like that, but we do like to start the year with some kind of plan.
Yeah, I think it's any kind of, not necessarily New Year's resolution, but I think the start of the year means that you start to rethink things and you want to start fresh. So it's just a simple way of doing that and thinking about how our sewing wants to progress through the year, really.
Exactly. And because we spend so much time talking about it, we thought, well, hold on, let's actually write down some of our thoughts here, and then we will share them with you guys in a YouTube video, because we know that a lot of you will be doing exactly the same. Everyone has different motivations for making, but I think that more than ever, we are all much more conscious about what we make, whether that's for sustainability or whether that's just because our time is so precious,
or finances as well.
Yeah, exactly. But also you get to a stage in life or a stage in your sewing where you kind of know what suits you and you know how to make things fit you.
Yes.
And then you can't really tolerate lots of mistakes because you know that you can avoid them if you plan things a little bit better.
Exactly.
So we thought that today we would share our sewing plans for 2022, and we would love to hear your sewing plans as well. So please do comment below and let us know what is top of your list, or kind of if there's a theme or what it is that you've been thinking of.
Or you're trying something new, you know, maybe trying to learn more different skills or try your hand at a different type of sewing. You know, you might
different craft.
Or a different craft even as well. You know, we love all the crafts and all the sewing all together. So there's room for everything together.
Yes. And we know that we inspired lots of people to take up crochet at the end of last year, and we just want to say we have not forgotten. We will be finishing the crochet series, but we know that that's not for the majority of our followers. So we thought let's welcome you into the new year with some sewing related content first, and then we'll get back to crochet. But we have actually filmed part 3. We filmed that back in
before Christmas.
Back in early December. We just didn't manage to get it edited and out, and we are going to be filming part 4 later on today. Because Nikki's got 2 almost complete sweaters and she needs cuffs. So.
I do. By the way, I wanted to tell you, I'm giving you the orange one.
What?
I'm giving you the orange one.
Oh, so we got
matching jumper. So I need to get it finished so you can have a lovely new jumper.
Do you know, this is her to a T. So it's her second ever thing she's ever made. The first pattern she's ever made, the second one that she's ever made, and it's for me. So
much I love her.
Yeah, so it's the same approach that you take to buying gifts. One for me, one for you, and now it's the same approach you take to making crochet as well.
I'm not sewing everything for you. I'm just crochet. I thought it'd be nice.
I like this. I like this approach. If this is how we're going to start off, so that every other thing you crochet is for me, I'm perfectly happy with that. As long as you're not expecting me to reciprocate, because I've got too many UFOs. I never finish anything. So one of the things that you might notice is that we are filming back in my sewing room, and it's been a while, and it might look a bit different from last time you saw it. And that is because part of my New Year cull of my wardrobe included a New Year cull of my sewing room.
A mass tidy up.
A huge tidy up. So if you want sewing related stuff for a bargain price, get yourself to the local charity shops around Yate and Chipping Sudbury, and you will find some absolute bargains. patterns, books, fabrics, all sorts of things. But yeah, I just decided that I needed it done quickly. I didn't have time to gift it or to think about who would get the most use out of it.
No.
And I know I've got a Destash account, but I just didn't have time for managing all of that because it took such a lot of effort last time. And so I just had a cull. I filled 4 massive bin bags to take to the charity shop, and another 4 that went to the tip.
Wow.
And before you think 4 bags of sewing stuff going to the tip, it was stuff I should never really have kept, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Patterns that I'd adjusted that realistically I'm never going to make again, and ones that I drafted for myself which won't make sense to anybody else.
No.
And scraps of fabrics that are better off going not suitable for like hand sewing and that kind of thing,
right,
but are better off being recycled and those kind of things. So yeah, a huge clear out, and now this is my very minimal looking sewing room behind us.
It's lovely.
And everything's nice and tidy. So at some point, if you want, I'll do a little tour video, because I know you guys like those. It'll be very short. Because
it's very small room.
But yeah, we can do that, and I can show you around.
Lovely. That sounds great.
Yeah.
So should we talk about our sewing plan?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about...
Why don't you kick off first?
So I'll kick off with me. So I just before Christmas, I started to have a bit of a cull of my wardrobe. Now, I have a very large wardrobe. It's very extensive, and I hold on to things. I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to clothes. And I don't know why, but it's something about the fact that I've liked it at one point, or I've loved it at one point, and I've spent money on it, and that means I need to keep it. So I do hold on to things, but I am being much more vicious with it now because of lots of things, but mainly because my body shape is changing so much at the minute, and it's not necessarily I'm changing hugely. I'm changing enough that I feel self-conscious in some of the things that I used to wear, and some of the things that I used to wear just don't fit me anymore. I've gone up a dress size, that's because of the menopause and everything like that, and also I'm exercising, so I think I'm putting on muscle as well as actually...
Well, you're doing 3 sessions a week, and you're weightlifting and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome for strength.
And all
but
the
it is going to add on some bulk.
It does. I feel like my shoulders are wider, my back's wider, so things are just not fitting me the way that they used to, and rather than worrying about that, what I've decided to do is just to have a kind of a cull, because those things now make me sad. Because if I look at them and I think, I would like to wear that, but I can't anymore, I think I'm just better not having them in my life and giving them to the charity shop, or giving them to somebody else, or upcycling them, or doing something with them so that I don't no longer feel guilty. I don't need that guilt hanging in my wardrobe. So I've had a massive cull of my current wardrobe, and then when we go over to spring summer, I will have a cull of that before it actually reaches the wardrobe.
Yeah, it's going to be a while in the UK before we actually get kind of spring weather. We're about to, January, February, usually our coldest months.
Yes.
So this is about to be depths of winter really for us.
Yeah,
isn't it?
so March or April, I'll probably, by the time the weather starts getting a bit nicer, I'll start to move the things into my spring summer wardrobe, and I will go through everything as I'm doing that and give things to the charity shop again. Yeah. So I've thrown away quite a few things, not thrown away, but I've given them away, and my wardrobe now and the makes I want to do are replacing some of those long lost loves, but also dressing for the way I want to dress, or making for the way I want to dress now, and just making things that are comfortable, that I'm not feeling too different in. I still feel fabulous in, even though my body is changing in various different ways.
Yeah, and do you know what? That's such an inspiring kind of message, I think, because we're all getting to that stage in life now, or most of our followers are of a certain age, similar age to us. So, your body does go through lots of changes, and I think that you can hold on to a lot of pain and sadness by not accepting that. Yeah. And I think it's brave, and it's hard to initially accept that your body isn't quite what it was, and it might not ever be again, but that's okay, because there are ways to dress it that make you feel good. Yeah. And you're right, staring at a wardrobe of clothes that don't fit you or you don't feel comfortable in, you don't realise how much it gets you down on a day-to-day basis until you deal with the problem and you don't have that, and then it's like a huge weight is lifted.
There was a moment in the summer, so I think think this is kind of where it started. So in the summer we had a few days of nice weather in the summer, and I had 3 or 4 pairs of shorts that didn't fit me. So I bought them 2 or 3 years ago, but I still thought they were good shorts. I still liked them, but they were just too tight for me. They were too small for me, and I just went, well, why on earth am I still trying to fit myself into these shorts? I'll just buy some new ones. And it was that kind of like sartorial moment where I just thought, right, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I've kind of spread that through the rest of my wardrobe as well. So I'm very excited about it. I'm a bit sad and a bit wobbly about it sometimes, but I'm determined to go ahead. But that's just, you know, the changes in how I'm feeling anyway, but I feel as if it is a positive move.
Yeah. I mean, the thing to remember is that clothes in and of themselves don't make you happy.
No.
They're just things. It's exactly how they make you feel. It's the emotions and the memories and those kind of things that affect our relationship with our clothes. I mean, even for us dressmakers, you know, that kind of tactile fabric stroking experience, that makes us happy. But again, that's an emotion, that's a feeling that we get from touching something that's nice, that you know, that's luxurious or reminds us of a certain point in our life or whatever. But the actual item of clothing itself doesn't really mean anything. And so if your clothes, whilst you've had them for a long time, if they don't make you feel good feelings, then it's time to move on.
Move them on. They will probably make someone else have lovely, happy feelings.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, you know. And I know that sometimes it's difficult with things that you've made, especially. So if you've spent the time by falling in love with the fabric, finding the right pattern, spending all the time making it, and then suddenly it doesn't fit you, or it doesn't suit you, or it just didn't look the way that you wanted it to on you, it can be very hard to let go of that.
Definitely.
It can be very hard to kind of move on and say, well, that just wasn't right, I'll learn from that, or you know, maybe I'll just make something else instead that fits me better. That can be a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, it definitely can. But then in doing that, going through that process, you learn a lot more about the things that you do like, and you learn a lot more about your body right now. And as dressmakers, more than anyone, it's important that we keep taking our measurements. We're aware of the changes to our body, because there's nothing more frustrating than just cutting your standard size, cutting into beautiful fabric, all the time that you spend sewing it, and then you try it on and it doesn't fit you. You then have got no one to blame but yourself. And of course it's going to be frustrating, because if we'd have just taken the time to take our measurements and check whether we still were that size, and I'm saying this from experience, this is something I've done many, many times, not for a few years, because you know, I kind of came to that realization a few years ago, because that's when my body changed, whereas yours is only just starting to change that now. So yeah, I mean, it's weird because we're here to talk about our sewing plans, but we both have quite emotional reasons for doing it. And so it makes sense for us to start by sharing those with you, because I'm sure you have as well. So I've also had a bit of a wardrobe cull. But actually, my wardrobe isn't huge to start off with, and I have been a lot more thoughtful for the last few years about what I'm making. But I think maybe as a response to COVID, although it had kind of started before then, I had this like love affair with colour, and I'd fallen in love with bright saturated colour, which I
may have noticed,
which I still very much love. And I've just had this kind of realization recently that I've maybe got too much colour. And what that means is I do struggle sometimes to put outfits together.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much saturation. And I think that, again, how the whole reason for me adopting so much colour is because it's so beneficial to my mood.
Yes.
And it did start off that way, and it does help lots and lots of people, you know, dressing to make yourself happy. But what I found is that I need a certain level of confidence to pull off those super bright head to toe outfits. And depending on my health and depending on my mental health, I have plenty of days where I just don't feel like I can carry that. And following us on YouTube or following me on Instagram, you probably wouldn't know that because you get to see the bright, colourful outfits.
Yeah, it's only the happy stuff you see on
Yeah,
socials.
exactly. And so what happens for me a lot at the moment is that I end up putting dog walking clothes on in the morning and then I'll stay in them for the rest of the day. Because
especially if you're feeling poorly.
Yeah, they've become my comfort clothes, if you like. When I don't feel like I have to pull off a look, if that makes sense. So what it made me realise is that I can still wear colour, but I need to find a kind of less saturated version to wear on those days when I'm not feeling 100% confident.
Yes.
So the best way I can think to describe it is, you know, when you edit a picture and you bring up the saturation levels, if you bring them up too high, it doesn't look real anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a cartoon. And I think that the saturation levels in my wardrobe are a bit too high, and it no longer is realistic for my kind of day-to-day life. So all that means is I need some things to calm it down.
Some basics.
So some basics. I need to add in some blacks and some whites and some navies. And I fancy adding in some kind of polka dots and those kind of things to do it in pattern form. But what that will mean is that when I want to wear it with a pop of pink or a pop of red or a pop of yellow, I'm still getting that lovely burst of colour and it will still make me feel great, but it doesn't have to be head to toe.
No.
So today is a good example. So I've got red on my stripes and I've got my red earrings, but everything else is just navy and white.
Yeah.
I love it and I feel really confident in it. So it's about trying to get that balance.
Yes.
I think. So that's mainly where my plans for the year are coming from.
But the things that we want to make are kind of falling into similar categories, aren't they? Which is always funny with us. We've both come from very different points of view.
And we don't even share like our plans. It just kind of happens, doesn't it?
So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk through some specific things that we want to make. We've got some pattern suggestions, but we are not in any way tied to these yet because we've not actually gotten to the point where we've made any big decisions or bought any fabric or anything yet. This is just at the planning stage.
Exactly. But it just so happens that because there is some crossover in the things that we want to make, we always love that because it means that we get to make lots of content around that as well, because if we're both making coats or we're both making wide leg trousers, then we get to bring new videos and kind of behind the scenes and how to style them and all that kind of stuff. So we're very excited about all of that, aren't we?
We're going to use our devices because we've got a very long list, or at least I've got a very long list.
Although we're not going to go through them all here. We're just going to kind of pick our highlights, if you like, or the ones that we're 100% certain on. Because some of the other things we may well kind of,
we might also just flit over some and just give you some suggestions, pop some pictures up so that you kind of get the right idea about what we're talking about.
Exactly.
So shall we start with trousers?
Okay.
Because trousers is a big thing. I had to give away at least 2 or 3 pairs of trousers that I absolutely loved. They were just shop bought trousers, but I loved them.
Yeah.
And so I feel as if I need some more trousers in my wardrobe. I'm a big jeans wearer, and I also feel that I wear my jeans too much. So I'm hoping to add some comfortable, wearable, everyday trousers that I can put into my wardrobe that just means that I'm just not in jeans all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. I've got 2 different types. I've got a wide leg trouser. So I'm thinking wide leg trousers, quite tailored, quite masculine looking, probably with turn ups, something like that. But I'm thinking either not fun fabrics, because it's like I don't want gnomes on my trousers or anything, but interesting fabrics, also everyday blacks and navies and maybe white as well. So the 3 patterns I've got for that is the by hand London Jackie trousers, the assembly line high-waisted trousers, and the Fibre Mood peaches. Now the peaches I already have, and I've got a pink pair of cords cut out from the peaches one, so that's already on the way. And then I've got 2 other pairs which are more casual. So they're slightly more casual, they're more elasticated waist, maybe elasticated at the bottom. So the Stylac Barry pants,
which are very similar to the bobs, except
and
the shaping at the hem's made with pleats instead of elastic,
but
cool.
the reason why I thought I have to make the Barry. It's because I made 3 pairs of the bobs, and you made how many pairs? 3 as well. And so we love them, and I just thought Barry looks just so similar. So maybe I need some Barry pants in my life as well.
Are we going to do Battle of the Barry and Bobs?
That sounds like a YouTube
We'll put
series.
outfits together and we'll get you to guess. Is it Barry or Bob?
Yeah, that would be fun. We could just have really fun.
We just show little peeks and just be like,
Barry or
is
Bob?
it Barry or Bob? Reveal a bit more, like catchphrase when they take the squares away.
But I just think they're really comfortable because they're elasticated waist. You can wear them with trainers. You can dress them up. You can dress them down.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking luxe fabrics for those as well, but really comfortable. And then I also found this pattern, which is a simplicity pattern, which looks like a very smart pair of trousers. But they're actually elasticated back.
Yeah.
And I just thought those would be really nice. They come in either culotte length or full length as well. So this is the Simplicity S9235.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I've also got culottes. We've got lots of culottes patterns already. So when we get into, although I do have a lot of culottes, so maybe I need to hold fire on any culottes before I get to that point in my wardrobe.
Because the
anyway.
thing you've got to remember with culottes is all you have to do is add a bit of length and you've got a trouser. So that's something to bear in mind if you've got kind of patterns already cut out.
Yeah.
All you need to do is decide how much extra length that you want.
Yeah.
And we had plenty of comfortable options in those in our Battle of Culottes where we reviewed 8 patterns in total. Was it 4 each?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you make those full length.
The Winslows, we both made the Winslows and both love the Winslows, so you could easily transform them into
absolutely.
Full length as well.
Yeah,
so
and
nice.
also on my list of wide trousers is the Flint trousers, which I made as culottes for Battle of Culottes. But then I also back in December made a pair of shorts in leopard print, which I've been wearing with my tights and DMs, and I just love the shape of them.
I'll have to make some Flints.
So what I'm doing, I'm planning on doing a little hack with an elasticated back. So I'm thinking that I'll kind of adjust it so that it doesn't have the opening in the pocket like it does.
Yes.
And that it's elasticated at the back.
That was something that we both spoke about as well because of our issues at the minute. We are looking for more
issues, our changing bodies, which we love.
Changing bodies and our changing health.
Yes.
Means that an elasticated trouser is definitely the best option.
It is.
Because of fluctuations and various different things. And you were talking about showing us how to do an elasticated hack to any pair of trousers.
Yeah, so any pair of trousers that's got darts in the back could easily be hacked to account for, to become an elasticated back. It all comes down to the fit and the difference between the waist and the hip. So you have to make sure that if all you're adding kind of on is the dart allowance, if that's all the extra that you're giving it to stretch, is that going to fit over your hips?
Yes.
But I figure I've got quite a big differential between my waist and my hip. I've got about 12 inches. So if it can work for me, it's going to work for most people.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is experiment with a few different trouser patterns, and then what we'll do is we'll film a tutorial or something to show you guys how to do that too. Just because I think it's the perfect way to give you that more tailored look. I mean, who sees the back of you? No, really. I mean, most of the time I've got a jacket on or a cardi or a jumper or something.
Trousers these days, there's no shame in having an elasticated back trouser.
Absolutely not. But I know that there is a stigma that's like, I remember, if you think about the generation above us, think like about our mums and things, like starting to wear elasticated waist was like the beginning of the end. It was like accepting, I'm now officially old.
Think that's the thing
No, it absolutely isn't. And actually, if you think about the trends that even the youngest kind of audience, the kind of, I've forgotten all the
Gen
Z, yeah. There's a lot of trends towards very simple shapes, elasticated waist, all that kind of stuff for them as well. So it's actually, not frumpy at all.
Absolutely.
And we would never be frumpy.
No, God almighty, no, I'm not telling it.
So I also have identified the need for more pairs of trousers.
Yes.
And part of the reason for doing that is that my wide leg emerald green trousers that I wore when we did our pink, yellow, green photo shoot on Monday.
Picturing?
Yes. I wear them at least once a week. They have become a staple in my wardrobe. Now, I always thought they were the Portobellos, but actually they're not. They're actually the Rachel trouser from the Rachel jumpsuit that Athena Kaku, when she used to do patterns, she released that one. And I just prefer the slightly wider leg shape on that,
Yeah.
and the fact that it's just 2 pleats instead of 3. So I definitely want to make some more of those, and I want to make them in exactly the same. It was a scuba crepe, like a stretch crepe, so it's got a nice weight to it, but it doesn't feel heavy, and it's that sort of fabric that, you know, it's dry as soon as it comes out of the washing machine.
No ironing
it's very
required.
dog friendly, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. I have to think about these
our
things.
lives have changed.
I have to think about these things. But I also was thinking about the by-hand lantern Jackie trousers, which I bought the pattern at the start of the first lockdown. I've just never got round to. I even got it printed, so it doesn't need to be taped together. It just needs to be cut out.
Nice.
And so that's definitely one that I want to do the elasticated back hack on. And I also, like I said, want to do flints. But I've identified that there are 5 pairs of trousers that I want to make.
Okay.
This is very specific. So I want a pair of the Rachel trousers in exactly the same scuba jersey, and I want to make those in a hot pink, a fuchsia.
Nice.
Obsessed with hot pink at the moment, and it's really great on my skin. It's such a fun colour, and I'm just seeing it everywhere, and I'm obsessed.
Yes.
So I definitely want a fuchsia pair, but I also want a black pair. Going back to my toning things down, I've got loads of lovely colourful tops and jumpers and shirts and that kind of thing, and I think a black pair of trousers would be a really nice way to balance those.
Nice.
And then I also want to make a blue pair. I've already got fabric. It's like an aqua blue. I don't even know. It's not really aqua. It's a light blue suiting.
Okay.
But it's a vibrant blue.
Right.
And it's actually under here, so I could show you. But my fabric's folded immaculately in new buckets under here, and I really don't want to have to drag it all out. But if I can get to it easily, then I will show you.
Find it.
Yeah, I've got to find it. Oh,
There it is.
no, that's
not
that's a coating. Hold on. Whoop. Oh, it's right at the front. It wants to be shown.
Oh, there we go.
So this one here, this is from Minerva, but I love this colour. It's also a colour that's been massive on the catwalks as well.
Is it like a periwinkle? Is it periwinkle?
I don't know what I'd call it.
Cornflower.
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 But I think it's brighter than that. I don't know. But anyway, that is what I had in mind for the by hand London Jackie trousers.
Lovely.
With the hat, because I think it would be really nice with turn-ups and stuff, because it's really drapey, so it won't be bulky.
Nice.
I worry about how I'm going to get that back in
In a minute. We're not going to do that on camera. There might be some swearing involved.
Yes, and then what I want is a pair of black and white polka dot trousers, and that's what I'm thinking for the flints, and I want that to be a black base with white polka dots, quite big ones.
Yes.
I'm being very specific.
She's very specific.
And then I want to make a pair of Chandler pants. I've made a few of those already.
Yes.
Which are already elasticated back, but they're the kind of pleat front but tapered leg with turn-ups.
Yes.
And I want to make them in some sort of black and white check suiting.
Yes.
Because I just think the black and white check with a pop of fuchsia or a pop of yellow or a pop of orange would just be really fun.
Like a houndstooth, or are you thinking more of a check?
Could be anything. Could be houndstooth, dogtooth, check, tartan, anything.
Yeah.
I just know that I want it to be some kind of check and black and white.
I've made a black pair of Chandlers. So I think it is that kind of thing. I think we're in January, and it does definitely feel as if we need a few more basics in our wardrobe.
Yeah,
that maybe the colour has been, is more summer-led.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the more basics are definitely coming out a bit more neutral palettes at the minute.
But then when you were telling us yours, it made me remember that I really want a pair of bobs and Barry's, and I want to make them in a very lightweight denim or a chambray. As an or a tencel denim would be perfect. As an alternative to jeans.
Yes.
So comfy jeans, basically.
Nice.
That you can just pull on, but wear in the same way that you would wear jeans.
We're going to be very best. Just saying. And I love the fact that we use the same patterns. It's great.
Yeah, but also the thing that I'm excited about is that every single one of those trouser patterns are quick and easy. None of them have a fly front. I know the Jackie trousers has a fly front, but if you're turning it into elasticated back, do you need the fly?
You could make
be
it
a faux fly. Postman's about to knock, or not knock. We're just The letters to come through the door.
We're looking out the front window, so he just thinks we're slightly mad. Anyway,
so yeah, I think that just they're all easy.
Yes.
And if you did a batch cut, if you got all the fabric and you did a batch cut, you could knock them all up quite quickly. And imagine how much more flexibility you'd have in your wardrobe if you suddenly got a new like 4 or 5 pairs of trousers in one weekend or a couple of weekends.
Yeah, absolutely. So well, I've obviously got the peaches all ready to go, so that's already stuck together and cut, and we could batch them together. So we could both have our Barry pant fabrics, and we could just cut them out together and sew them in an afternoon.
And then we'll have to come up with some sort of Barry dance to celebrate.
We're having a Barry day.
A Barry party. Everyone's invited.
Right, so next for me is outerwear. Now, I have realised something in the last sort of 6 months, is that I love coats.
Yeah.
Coats and jackets.
You only realised this in the last 6 months. You and I
know.
both own more coats than any other person on the planet.
I love them. I absolutely love coats, and I know it's a winter thing, but coats and blazers. So I've made quite a few coats, but I do feel as if there are a few colours missing in my wardrobe. So I want to make more casual coats than dressy coats, but also blazers, because I do have quite a few blazers, but very few of them are me made. I maybe only have 1 or 2 that are me made, and I kind of want to replace the ones that I've got which are just charity shop buys. They're second-hand buys.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Love me a wool blazer from the charity shop.
But I feel like there are a few which were maybe not as good quality as I could make myself.
Yes, absolutely.
And it will just give me more options and make me feel a bit better if I've made some myself. So that's where I'm thinking for those. Coatigans are also another big thing as well.
Again, we're on the same page.
So let me run through some patterns that I've got for you. Any of these that you don't know, just give me a shout and I'll show you the picture. So the trend patterns TPC 28. Do you know that one?
Of course I know that one. Did you see?
Oh my God!
Did you see the 3 French girls? They're 3 French sewers on Instagram, and they sometimes sew together, and they each made one of these coats in a different colour each, and they took some amazing photos, and they're all in a row on steps, like with phone boxes, just so cool.
We need to recreate that.
And as soon as I saw that, I was like, not only am I now obsessed with them and their sewing accounts, but also with the coat itself.
Yeah, so we're both making that one.
No, I've got a different one in mind, so you continue with your list.
And then I've got the Avid Seamstress, the coat. So I've had this pattern for a while.
Yes.
I think it was actually gifted to us by the lovely Avid Seamstress.
Yeah, when we reviewed something else.
Yeah, so she sent us which was new when it was out.
Yeah.
And so I've wanted to make it for ages, and I think this year is the year. So I'm thinking something like a pale blue or a pale lilac or an emerald green or something that's in a nice kind of textured boucle or a flat faux fur, you know, when you get that furry look on fabric.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking for that. Then of course Nina Leigh. We love you, Nina. What else can we say? We are constantly harping on about how wonderful your patterns are. But the Richmond Blazer, again, I already have one cut out. I've got a sort of a dark red wool, my red wool that was kindly gifted to us by Fabrics Galore. That has been slowly being made. It's very slowly being made, and I need to get my finger out and get that one finished. But I want to make more of those. I'm thinking maybe a lighter weight one, so maybe a suiting or a linen or something like that for when the spring
I nearly
comes in.
put my royal blue tuxedo blazer on with this top earlier on, and it just felt a little, it was what I was saying before about sometimes you just not being in the right mood to pull it off, but the kind of satin, it's obviously a tuxedo blazer, just felt a little bit much, so I went for the navy option.
If you were going out though.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I've got 3 more. Then I've got the Rihanna Blazer by Viki Sews. That's another smart blazer, but it's belted, so it's slightly longer.
Yeah.
And then I've got 2 more casual jackets. So I've got the Fibre Mood Avril.
Is that the one with the pockets that go like that?
Yeah, it's the kind of
you can
boxing.
see that on camera like that.
I'll put a picture and you can see what she means.
At an angle.
But it's kind of more like a boxy bomber jacket, that kind of thing. So it's a bit more casual.
Yeah.
And then the Logan Jacket, which I already have, which is already printed, already cut out, and actually has fabric attached at the minute.
Is that
for
the
a
pattern that
shacket.
you used for your quilted one?
No, I used. Oh gosh,
Did you use
remember.
the boyfriend one that we've done before?
The Lauren for my gingham one.
Yes.
That was
okay.
I used the Lauren for that. But this is more of a shacket style. But I actually think it would be good for more. Like, it's that one.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen quite a few people do it. I love the curved yoke on the back of it, and the curved hem.
The curved hem.
The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have a cuff on it, and I do like a proper cuff on a shacket, but that would be very easy to add.
Yes.
In fact, our shirt making class even gives you instructions on how to do
exactly.
that.
So I have all the things I need to do that. That's fine. So those are my thinking with sort of outerwear. There's room for coatigans in there. There's room for anything that I feel I fancy. I do love making coats and jackets.
Yes.
So it's never going to be a burden for me to have 3 to make or anything like that.
No.
So, and actually I was thinking that I might even make some of the wide leg trousers with one of the blazers to match.
Yeah.
But maybe not in the same fabric, maybe in a tonally slightly different.
Yes.
So like a lilac jacket and a purple trouser or something like that. So that kind of thing. So you can kind of turn them into casual suits.
Yes.
That's not too worky.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that might open up some more options for my wardrobe.
Yeah,
as well.
I definitely love a blazer, and the ones that I have made, I do wear a lot, and I wear them casually a lot because they are great with jeans. It doesn't have to be worn as a suit, but I just think in terms of like long-term appeal and something being in your wardrobe and being worn year after year after year, a blazer is a really, really safe bet.
Absolutely.
So my coats,
Yes.
I have, like we said, we've had a lot of coats. There's only really a couple that I think I want to make. So maybe 3. So one of them is, so I've got lots of different coats.
Yeah.
But I don't have as many bright coloured coats. So I know I made that mustard one a few years ago, but I don't really wear that colour anymore. And also the fit of it isn't quite what I want. But I bought a camel coloured coat from a charity shop last winter, I think, and I've worn it so much this winter. And it's just like a camel coloured cashmere and wool, but it's maxi length and it's double breasted, and it's oversized, which means that you can fit it over chunky jumpers, you can fit it over blazers. It doesn't matter how many layers I've got on. It easily fits over the top, and that's what I love about it. So I've decided that I basically need a version of that, but in a bright colour, and I want that fuchsia hot pink. I'm obsessed. I've got so many pictures saved on my Pinterest. I've got so much inspiration of hot pink coats. So I also want to use a Viki Sews pattern. It's this one, the Martina. So it's got absolutely everything that I need. It's got the wide lapel, it's got the drop shoulder, it's maxi length, it's got a nice vent in the back, it's double breasted
pockets,
it's got lovely welt pockets, and it's everything I want it to be. So I want to make that in a
hot
fuchsia pink. Yes.
Lovely.
Now, variations of that over the course of not necessarily this year, but maybe the next few winters, I would also love one in a bright orange and one in a cobalt blue.
Yes.
So that would be like heaven for me. But I'm going to start with the fuchsia one and see where we go from there.
Lovely.
So the other thing that I want to make is a more oversized trench coat.
Yes.
So I made the Isla trench coat a few years ago, and I love it, and it was one of my proudest makes at the time, and I put a lot of time and effort and love into it. But it isn't a layering piece at all, and a trench coat really does need to be that. In fact, I probably did choose too small a size. It was kind of, I don't know, wishful thinking on my part. I should have thought about how I was going to wear it.
Yes.
But it's also quite a form-fitting at the top. It's quite narrow shoulders,
I can't
slim
even
sleeves.
I can't wear it. And we would normally wear this a very similar size, but my shoulders are much bigger, and I can't. It just makes me feel as if I'm wearing a child's jacket.
I can really only wear it over a t-shirt or a very thin jumper. That's basically the only option, and that's not going to work for a trench coat. So I haven't decided on a pattern as yet, but you know, the Viki Sews could be another possibility. Because there's quite a few options on there. But I quite like the idea of a simplified version. I don't necessarily want to spend like, 3 weeks making it. I want it to be really nice quality fabric, very drapey. But I'm thinking I'd be happy for it to be unlined. It doesn't need to have 1,000,001 pockets. It doesn't need to have all those little straps and so I haven't decided on a pattern yet, but I'm thinking a simple trench is what I want, rather than a really fussy one.
Nice.
And probably in a similar colour, because I could choose the traditional kind of camel colour or whatever for a trench, and I'd get a lot of wear out of that. And again, it's a neutral, which, against the other pops of colour I probably need. But I think that maybe if I went for a soft pink or so a different kind of neutral.
Yeah, maybe a stone, or even, I don't want to sound controversial, but you could go for black.
Yeah, I don't know. No, the thing is
too much. Is it too much black on the outside?
Yeah, and too much black in my house at the moment is just like black and dog hair.
Yes.
So don't get me wrong. There's only parts of the house that she can be in, and we do clean regularly. It's not like the whole place is covered in dog hair. But all you've got to do is tickle her tummy for a couple of minutes, and you will be covered in dog hair. And I don't want clothes that I have to keep in certain rooms of the house and not actually go anywhere where the dog's been.
No.
Sometimes she's just a magnet for it, and black is
kind
one
of those.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no, there's I was watching a video on YouTube. I'll link it below because it's really good. A Fashion is a channel a fashion channel that I follow, and they do roundups of the catwalks and stuff. And they were doing the color trends and stuff, and they've got really, really funny names for them.
Right.
But one of the colors is called Sponge Sugar, and it's like an icy blue. So that's what I'm thinking, is a neutral but that's got a very kind of soft pop of colour in there, like a toned down version.
Yeah, lovely.
So something like that would be a good idea. And then finally, I want to make a coatigan.
Another coatigan.
Yes, and I specifically want that coatigan to be in an emerald green mohair. I'm very specific.
You can tell she's thought a lot more about this than I have. I've thought more about patterns.
I've even found the fabric. I found the emerald green mohair, and so now it's just a case of deciding on the pattern. And I may make the simplicity coatigan that I made before. My red and pink mohair one worked out really well, but I'm also obsessed by. Let me just show you this image that I've saved, and we'll put it up on the screen so that you guys can see too. But it's huge and oversized. So I like this one.
Oh, yes.
That's more of a coat.
Yes.
So I like that colour, but that style.
Oh, okay. Like massively oversized.
Yes, massively. So that's something I still have to work out. It could just be that I pick a pattern and then I make it 2 sizes larger or something like that.
4 sizes larger.
But yeah, so they're the kind of 3 coats that I would like to make.
Nice.
All maxi length, so it's going to be a lot of fabric required each of them.
And it's a lot of sewing. So what are we on to next? So I'm on to shirts next. Can we talk about shirts?
Yeah, we can talk about shirts. So yeah, you go ahead.
Well, I've discovered a new love of easy wear cotton shirts, and I've made quite a few in the last year. I really like a lot of the Fibre mood ones. I can't remember any of the names now. We've made a few Fibre mood shirts, and I've also made the Lauren boyfriend shirt from Style Arc, and I've made the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush. I've made a couple of those, and it's that kind of easy, slightly oversized. You can chuck it on with jeans, you can chuck it on with a skirt. It doesn't really, with a nice pair of trousers it would look really smart, but you can dress it down. And so I'm thinking I need a few more of those in my wardrobe. So I've gone for easy kind of easy wear cotton shirts, short sleeved ones, but I also think I need a few long sleeved oversized shirts as well for layering, just as the weather changes, and you can chuck them on with a t-shirt underneath or a thin jumper over the top or something like that. So
we're on the same page again. Not surprisingly. And we didn't discuss this.
No, we didn't.
I might have dropped certain things and said, I'm thinking of doing this, and vice versa.
I was already thinking the same.
But it's funny funny how closely. I mean, I knew there'd be some crossover, but it's like literally matchy.
Matchy. So the patterns I've got are two that I've already mentioned. So the Logan Jacket from Style Arc, which I've already got. Although it's a Shacket, I think it would work in a cotton as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. You could quite easily kind of make it. So I'm going to make the heavier one first, and then possibly make it as a shirt.
That's the beauty of a Shacket, is the fabric choice. You make it in a jacket fabric, it's closer to a jacket. You make it in a shirt fabric, it's closer to a shirt. You find something in between, and it's a proper Shacket.
I'm thinking some kind of denim or chambray for that one, possibly a white denim. You know how I like white.
Yeah,
I love
like a bull denim.
Yes.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Then the Lauren boyfriend shirt, which I've made two of. I've made a hat one, and then I've also made a Shacket quilted one, and you've made one as well, haven't you?
Yes.
So that's again, it's a pattern that we just go back to time and time again. Then there's a new company called PH7. Have you heard of them?
No, but you mentioned the Bromo shirt, and the name stuck in my head, so I did Google it.
Yeah, they are PH7 is basically neutral, and so they make gender neutral patterns. They've got a very small collection. They've probably only got maybe 6 or 7 patterns. Yeah, but the Bromo shirt is really nice because it's low back and higher at the front, but it's really oversized.
I love that. Yeah,
and it's really long at the front, and I think you could play with it. You could do whatever you wanted, but I really like the idea of these sort of gender neutral patterns.
Yeah, I would definitely wear that just with leggings and DMs or skinny jeans and DMs. It would just be really easy.
Just that one.
I'm just going to shut the door because I think my husband and Lola are going to arrive back from their walk very soon. Ooh. So I'm just going to shut the door. So
we'll be back. Yeah. So that's the Bromo, and it's a very nice, oversized, very simple shirt. And again, I love making shirts, so there's nothing bad there.
No, exactly.
So those are my kind of shirty shirts, and then my easy wear blouses are the Patina Blouse from Freddie Patton Company, which has got a low V with a big collar.
Yes,
on
I've
it.
seen that. Yeah,
so
it's nice.
with a little puff sleeve, so nice and simple. But I just thought you can wear it long sleeved, or you can have shorter sleeves. You can do what you want with it. And I thought actually that would be a good addition to my shirt collection.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the final one is the Anthia Blouse from Anna Allen Patterns, and this is another puff sleeve. Yeah, very simple to wear. But I'm just thinking, with all these lovely trousers I'm making, I can have some simple shirts. Yeah. And maybe even have some fun with some fabrics. And
absolutely.
Have a few funky ones that might be fun and interesting to wear. Yeah. So that's my kind of thinking with all of those. But those are all things that I absolutely love making. And it's just going to make me happy to make things like that. So absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. What are you thinking for shirts?
Well, there's a few shirts that I want to make. But again, I'm not so much about the patterns and more about the specifics of kind of what I want. Yes. So I want some kind of drapey shirt in a quite silky shirt in a patterned fabric, and I found the perfect fabric on eBay, and it's kind of like geometric, but it's got a navy base, and then it's got pink, purples and blues in it, I think, like little circles. So I just think that would make a really nice, when you want to go out somewhere a little bit smarter and you want a slightly dressy shirt, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we went to a Christmas party, do you remember? And I wore a silk blouse that I'd bought from a charity shop. And it's just black and white, but I really, really loved it. And I just thought, actually, wearing a kind of loose fit shirt, you can chuck it on with jeans, or you can put it on with a smart pair of trousers or whatever.
Put a jumper over the top if you want.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought it would give me lots of options, and it's definitely a gap in my wardrobe. Is those kind of slightly smarter options, but I want it to be drapey and I want it to be silky and soft and lovely.
Right. So it's more of a luxe shirt is what you're thinking.
Yeah. But I am thinking not necessarily long line, but definitely hip length, and I'm just thinking simple, just a simple straight up and down shirt, and I may even just use the Vogue pattern that we've made many times before, but leave the darts out because I don't want the waist shaping, so it's just a bit more loose fit. So something just a basic shirt, but not in a basic fabric.
That's a good hint actually, because if you are into making shirts and blouses, the commercial patterns very often have patterns which have 4 or 5 shirts in the same packets. So if you're dipping your toe into shirt making, obviously you can check out our wonderful shirt making class. and also the sleeve hacking class goes along with that perfectly.
Yeah.
But you can get commercial patterns that will give you 2 or 3 or maybe 4 style options from the one pattern.
Yeah.
And that's a really good way of kind of diving in. It's all, the explanations are all this kind of the same. You're following the same steps. It's just that the sleeve's slightly different on one or the neckline's slightly different on the other. So it's good bang for your buck.
It definitely is, yes. And I often go back to those ones time and time again, to be honest. And especially if it's a loose fit pattern, if your body fluctuates, then you can you can still wear it comfortably.
And if you've already got the pattern and you've already cut it out, half the job is done.
Exactly, it saves so much time. That's why I borrow your patterns all the time.
It does.
So the other shirt that I want, and I'm just thinking I will use the Lauren Boyfriend shirt pattern because it's tried and tested and it works well for all the same reasons that we've just said. But I would like an oversized chambray shirt. So a light colour chambray, the paler of the blues, just kind of an everyday wear, chuck it on. So I'd want like a washed chambray that's got that kind of worn look. And the only thing I would change is I love the Lauren Boyfriend shirt. I love everything about it, but I did think last time the big flappy cuff and the 3/4 length sleeve isn't quite what I want for this. I want a proper full length sleeve with a proper cuff.
Yes.
So I'll change that, and I'll just, like I said, follow the instructions that are in our companion shirt making class. I'll extend the length of the sleeve. I'll use the placket template that we created for that, and I'll draft my own cuff to fit. And once I've done that, you can just use my cuff and placket if you want to do the same.
Have you thought about distressing your own chambray or anything like that?
I would worry about it being even enough. It's more not necessarily distressed so much as washed that I'm looking for. So I love that kind of washed look where the garment is made, but then it's washed multiple times afterwards. So it gets kind of worn in all the places where it's been sewn. Yeah, that will happen over time. But I might start with a washed chambray, or I might not. It depends what I find.
Depends what you find, absolutely.
And then one thing that was on my list that I had kind of put down as a make or buy option was a white shirt. And I was thinking that plain white shirt, it's a bit boring to make, so I was going to just go and buy one. But then Nikki treated me to some lovely fabric. And I've got it here. So this is a lovely white viscose, I think it is. It feels like a viscose shirting.
I think it's a viscose linen.
Right. And as soon as I felt it, I just thought I want that on my body all the time. So now I'm very excited about making a white shirt.
Yeah.
And did you say this is the one that's got 2 meters? Or
there's 2 meters of that.
Okay,
yeah,
lovely.
2 meters of that one.
So I'm thinking that will also be the Lauren Boyfriend shirt. Or potentially your Bramo shirt.
Yes.
Just because I want it. The thing I like about the Lauren Boyfriend shirt is that it's oversized, but it also has that high-low. It's long at the back.
Yes.
It's got that scoop, but I like the kind of sharper lines on the Bramo.
On that one,
So that could work very well for that one.
I'll have to buy it then.
And then the only other shirt that I want to make is a polka dot one.
Okay.
So for that one, that could be a shorter length one that's maybe just long enough to tuck in, but I want that to be slightly oversized, and I want it to be a white base with a black polka dot. Not a tiny polka dot, but kind of
good inch.
Yeah, well, no, maybe a centimetre would be. No bigger than a centimetre polka dot is kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But when they're quite well spaced, so it is a predominantly white shirt, but it has those black polka dots.
Nice, because that matches in with, you can wear bright colours with that.
Exactly.
And you can wear it with jeans, and it's still kind of a neutral, isn't it?
Yes. So you'll notice that my options for trousers were mainly bright, but there are some neutral ones in there as well.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of the same for my shirt. And the idea is that I'd have a more neutral shirt with a brighter bottom, and vice versa.
Yeah, perfect.
Maybe layered with a bright jumper or something like that.
It's just coat or something.
But it's just having that little kind of pop of black and white collar over the top of a bright jumper.
Yes.
It just kind of creates that sort of balance.
Lovely. So that's
shirts for me.
Shirts. That's the end of my kind of day-to-day stuff.
Well, I have a couple of others just in terms of tops, just because the only other thing that I want to make top-wise is not necessarily make, I could buy them or find them second-hand, is I want a couple of hoodies.
Oh, okay.
I just think that hoodies can be stylish, and I know they would definitely suit those days when I'm not feeling very glamorous. But I just want a plain black hoodie, and I want a fuchsia, a hot pink hoodie as well.
Nice.
I love that look where you've got the hoodie over the top of an overcoat.
Yes.
And you've just got on jeans or leggings and boots DMs or whatever. But I just think it's a stylish way to kind of,
nice.
To wear a hoodie.
Yes.
So it depends whether I find one that's perfect, because for hoodies I find a lot of it is about the quality of the fabric. And sometimes the better quality the sweatshirting that you can buy, the more drapey it is, and I want these to be that kind of boxy sort of oversized. So I will put a pencil in that one. That's definitely a make or buy.
Yeah, depends
possibility.
on what you find.
Yes, exactly.
And have you got anything else kind of?
The only other thing that I've got is no, I think that's it. I think that is it.
Well, I've got 2 other things that I want, or 3 other things actually. Which
I've got no dresses at all.
No dresses for me either.
I think I've got enough.
I've got enough dresses, and I know that I need to cull my dresses. So that's like I feel like I'm kind of coming at them with a shotgun, but I'm not. But I just need to throw out a few, I think. But I've got some other things that I want to try and get round to making this year. They were on my list to make last year, and I never quite got round to it. So as we mentioned before, I go to weight training and I do quite a lot of exercise, so I think it might be quite nice to make some exercise gear for myself. I'm doing it so much in the week, and I just think it might be fun. So I already have a couple of patterns. Both from Green Style Creations, who specialise in activewear and stuff like that. So I've got the Cavallo leggings and I've got a power sports bra. Nice.
I
also already have fabric. I've just never managed to get any further than that.
I've also got some power mesh that you use like for sports bras and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I've...
that didn't go in the cull?
No, I always kept it because it's quite handy to have. But my plan was to make like myself a Spanx pencil skirt, basically, to have like scuba or something on the outside, but power mesh on the inside, so it kind of sucks you in. But these days, there's no way I would wear something like that.
You're not going to wear that on your dog walking
I don't want to be sucked in. No. I want to let it all hang out. That's the whole point.
The other thing was lingerie. So again, last year I wanted to try and making my own lingerie, and I got as far as buying loads of fabric, buying some patterns, or downloading some guides, and I even bought all of the little hooks and all of the little things. Never got any further than that. So that's something I want to try and find some time, just sewing for fun and sewing for, like, I've never made anything like that before. So let's give it a go. And also I wanted to make a leather bag. So that's another thing, or a faux leather bag. I'm not necessarily attached to making a real leather bag, but I think a faux leather bag. And just something that's quite I'm thinking something that's as complicated as making a blazer but in a bag form. Do you know what I mean? So something that's quite in depth, but also I'd quite like to make some simple tote bags in a very simple, like faux leather or a faux suede or something like that are just bright pops of colour.
Well, do you know what I love? And this would be, it depends how much kind of traditional sewing machine sewing you want to do, because this might not give you the complexity, but I have a few times had in my basket and never actually kind of pushed the go button because it scares me because they're expensive. But you can buy all of these leather handbag kits now, and they come with the pieces of leather already cut and the holes punched. You basically hand sew them.
Oh, that sounds right up my
street. So when you were a kid and you used to have those kind of plastic grids and you used to make handbags that way by sewing those together, it's that like easy. And everything's already, the handles are made and everything's punched, and it's literally an assembly job. But they look so good. But because they're real leather and they're quality leather, they obviously are expensive, which wouldn't be in my budget but might be in yours.
Yes, wow.
So that's something that you should look into. But also I have got on my list of things to find, and I was just going to see if I could find one second hand. I want a white quilted handbag, just kind of a crossbody chain handle, that sort of thing.
Yes.
But I just thought I'm going to have that at the back of my mind and find it at some point. But actually, you can buy quilted leathers, quilted faux leathers.
Yes.
We've still got loads of hardware from when we used to teach in-person classes. We used to do a lot of bags. So we've still got D-rings and turn clasps and magnetic clasps and all those kind of things that we just don't ever use. And these days you can buy handbag chains with just clips on the end really easily off of eBay and Amazon and that kind of thing. So maybe I'll make one instead of buying one.
And you can get lots of really nice colourful ones as well.
Yeah.
So there's lots of bags now where you buy the bag, so you've got a very simple bag shape, but you change the handle.
Yeah.
So I've even seen them in TK Maxx and things like that. So
I've seen them online. They get advertised on Instagram quite a lot, and I have thought, oh, maybe that's a class idea.
Yeah. maybe it is. Let us know.
You make a little crossbody bag in really nice quality, like keep it quite simple but very well made, and then you make a series of straps
to go with it.
Interchangeable straps.
Yes. If that's right up your alley, let us know down below.
Yeah.
And then the final thing is I want to give resin jewellery a try.
Okay.
Well. That's something we talked about a while back.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Might just be something fun, which is creative, which it doesn't involve sewing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I like fiddly things, like things that I make with my hands.
Yeah, I do really like the resin ones. I bought for my son for Christmas. I bought a clay making kit.
Yes.
And he's been making earrings and things for that, like fun ones, like mushrooms and smiley faces and those kind of things. And it just made me think that I did think, well, maybe I'll try clay because there's some brilliant
polymer clay. Is it
polymer clay? Yeah, and you just bake it in the oven and that kind of thing. But if you like the idea of resin, either way, whatever we need to buy resources wise, doing that together will work out more cost effective. But between us, we'll have time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than just
it'll be more fun
doing completely separate things.
It'll be more fun to do it together, no matter what it is.
Definitely.
So I like the resin because they're lighter to wear sometimes, and you get it's the effect of them. You can
you can put glitter in them.
Yeah, and they can be shiny. You can make them gloss effect. And all the rest
put
of it,
gold leaf in there and all that kind of stuff. But also, what I really like is the idea of, you've created an outfit and you don't have the perfect earrings, but you happen to have the dyes and the equipment, and you can just be like, right, I need some yellow and pink earrings. Can we make some this weekend? Which would be really fun to do. So
and I think it's just it's activating our creativity without and giving us something different. I think sometimes you need to put your fingers and toes into a new project, something that's going to test you, and it's just going to be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So when we love things like that.
Yeah,
so an
absolutely.
afternoon with lots of like free flowing coffee and biscuits and making some resin jewellery.
Or
sounds
handbags.
lovely.
Yeah.
Or handbags.
Nice. Sounds great. So this would have been a ridiculously long video. I think these days, when we haven't done a video for a while, you might as well go into it just treating it like a podcast.
Yeah,
it's going to last an hour. There'll be a lot of rambling, and you can just fast forward to any bits that aren't of interest. But we will go back and put lots of pictures in so that you can actually see what we're talking about whilst we're doing it. But by the time you watch this, you would have already seen that.
You always love all our ramblings. So we always get lots of comments saying, I love the long video. So we just need to embrace it.
If it's not your thing, there's plenty of people that do more professional versions. And we're just ourselves and we don't edit
exactly.
much, do we?
No, we don't.
Hopefully you like that. Hopefully our plans for our wardrobe have inspired you. Like we said at the beginning, we'd love to hear your plans.
Yes.
So if you've got anything in particular, or if there's anything we've mentioned that you think, oh yeah, I need one of those, then comment below and let us know. And just remember, the biggest takeaway from all of this is what we said at the beginning. Your wardrobe has to make you feel good, and it has to be suitable for your lifestyle.
Yes.
And if it's not those things, then it's time to make some changes, and it's okay to do that, regardless of how much money you spent on your clothes when you bought them or made them. It's okay to mix things up. And if you're not comfortable having a full-on cull, just do what I do and bag them up and put them in the loft. And then you can get them out each season. And what you find is you start culling things gradually, because you think, I haven't got this out for the last few times, so I'm probably not going to wear it now. But it's like a gentle way to part with things rather than a fast
you feel a little bit better about it because you haven't actually physically seen it for a while. And you get it out and you go, oh no, I wouldn't wear that.
No.
Because it's almost like it's been removed from everything, something you see every day in your wardrobe. So you get to look at it with fresh eyes again when it comes out of the bin bag, and so it's easier to let it go. But just remember, that's what the charity shops are for. You are helping people who can't afford clothes or want to recycle or want to upcycle stuff. That's, it's perfectly fine to give stuff there. Or ask your friends if they want to have a rummage before. She always has a rummage in my bag.
Always. She's never allowed to take anything to the charity shop before I've had a good look.
Because you just never know what someone else might be able to see.
Yeah, exactly. And just bear in mind as well that at the moment there is a more of a demand for people buying clothes from the charity shop than ever before.
Absolutely.
So you can be confident that your clothes are going to a good home. There's plenty of people that are only shopping that way now, or people that never had but have started to. So somebody will will love the things that you don't love anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we hope you have enjoyed that, rambles and all.
Yes.
We are going to be back soon with our final crochet videos, and then we've got lots and lots of exciting things to bring you in 2022.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned. Also, we've got a new class coming up very soon. So go and check out our website, which is www.thestitchsisters.co.uk for all the goodness.
And we'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye. Oh, I'm shattered now.
I know, that was a long one.